So the next topic to discuss today is the EU and the EU crisis and migrant crisis that they're going through. Asylum seekers have caused masses of problems relocating overseas for many years now, and it's become an increasingly political hot topic. And the international legislation for asylum seeking, for people fleeing war, conflict, or oppression, is designed to give people safe passage when they leave those war zones. And bombs falling in Syria can be a very good reason for that. But it's become a business now where it is being, and that's partly because the world international agencies have improved medical health around the world. Um, the mortality rate around the world for children is reduced, and we've seen a boom in the worldwide population that more than doubled. There's over 7 billion people in the world, and half of those are under 25. The migrants are people looking for work and for a better lifestyle by taking risks to move around the world. So we've seen that the UK Labour Party are in negotiations with the EU to create a new type of associate membership of the EU, to include arrangements such as migration from the EU. Part of the UK's problem already is that they have asylum seekers coming from, yes, Asia and Africa into the UK, but they're coming from France, they're coming from Europe. Now, under international asylum law, that is a safe haven. They should be seeking asylum in the EU, but the French managed to choose to not manage their borders and allow those boat passengers, those asylum seekers in Europe, to get on the boats to the UK, and that is a conflict there. And the UK Labour Party are trying to do a deal to accommodate some of those asylum seekers. It's always it's a big conflict with the European Court of Human Rights and the EU. Italy's got a similar problem with 126,000 migrants arriving from North Africa across the Mediterranean to asylum seek. And Italy now is passing new asylum laws, which is alienating it from some of its northern EU members that don't want to take in quite so many migrants and deal with the issue of accommodating those asylum seekers under international laws, where if they are genuinely found, that their case has to be considered and processed by the receiving state, and they have to be provided the ability to work or financial compensation while they're there. And that, if a country is not acting in good faith, is a good reason to move people on or out of your world. Is that what's happening in France? Is that what's happening in France with the Channel crossing asylum-seeking crisis? Who knows? But it's happening in the EU with people coming into Italy. How many of those Italian migrants are getting into northern France and then into the UK? So it's a real issue for Europe to deal with. Countries like Cyprus have taken on a lot of asylum seekers. It's a big cultural change for them. And in the last month, we saw riot shields and mass arrests of 600 asylum seekers because of the issues that have been created in local communities in Cyprus for asylum seekers. So it creates issues because of the numbers, but it's a world problem and it needs addressing in the world. And so does asylum seeker laws need changing? Yes or no. No, if it's genuine conflict, but yes, if it's criminal activity that is illegally allowing people to cross border. To cross border and work, you could get a work visa and you can relocate in that way. And that is the purpose of the EU Schengen zone, to protect its borders and the integrity of the people within there. That's what they need to enforce.